YouTube started because it was all about helping sailors, and that's generally fundamentally what, Sailhub is all about, is helping sailors get the most out of the time on the water.
I'm just editing the video where I got to talk to Chris from Sailhub. They are doing some amazing things over there and creating all kinds of YouTube videos to help people go sailing, which I found to be totally awesome. And I definitely want to share that with you guys. You're like all over YouTube, you're all over the sailing community, and I think you got a couple things going on. I was looking at your website and you've got the Sail Zero project, and then you've also got Sail Hub. And I kind of want to ask questions about both things, but let's start with Sail Hub. This has got you doing things like I was looking at your YouTube channel, next gen sailing trends that you need to see, sailing gear that makes life at sea better, all this DIY stuff and all this product reviews. How did you end up in this position where you're looking at all this stuff?
Yeah, so the basics of that were like, so I'm a shipwright. Okay, we used to have a boatyard back in the day and all that kind of stuff. So we were running that boatyard of COVID. So we thought, you know what, now would be a good time to set up and go and sail the world. So we went to do that, and then I fell off a mountain bike, broke my neck, and so at that point I was like, we're not going sailing then. I'm not going to work back on boats at the moment. So what are we going to do? So we just ended up helping people prep boats for the world sailing and did kind of custom work on sailing yachts and that kind of stuff. That's what our yard was known for, was custom work, if you like.
So you're kind of just traveling all over the place, going to boat shows and showing like new tech and kind of helping people go sailing by the looks of it.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is to sort of show innovation in sailing and try and look at what difference that's making to sailors, and help people understand what changes they can make and help them get the right products for what they're doing and all that kind of stuff. That's the general idea. So yeah, we travel a lot with that. That has to happen, yeah.
Have you done any writing for different magazines or anything, or how did you come about this whole YouTube channel thing? Like, is that the only media that you're doing this mission on?
We haven't done any writing for magazines at present. We've been asked to do some, but time's been a little bit short. And it's kind of where we want to go with that. I don't know. We're not too sure with that at the moment, but we'll figure that out. Yeah, so at the moment we're just kind of taking it as it comes. Like I say, YouTube started because it was all about helping sailors, and that's generally fundamentally what, Sailhub is all about, is helping sailors get the most out of the time on the water. So, be it tips and tricks, shortcuts, or what gear to buy, something like that. Yeah, just we just want to help people really. So that's it.
Nice. And then you have this other thing on your website that's called the Sail Zero project. Can you tell me like
Oh
what
yeah.
is that?
So yeah, I mean, Sail Zero project, as a shipwright, building boats, that's what we do. And I've always wanted to build my own boat. And my initial plan was to do the design work, build a boat from scratch, and go out there to kind of show what could be done. So I wanted to build a boat that was going to change things, or at least demonstrate the reality to people. So we've got a big focus on sustainability, basically. The idea is, can we reduce both diesel and lithium on board? Because I think it's kind of wrong to expect we can do, just eliminate diesel completely, but maybe we can. Basically, we're trying to look at all the inefficiencies on a sailing yacht and make them as efficient as possible and see where that takes us. It's kind of a ongoing journey based and held by us, but kind of supported by the industry, really.
So there's a boat behind this, a boat that you made?
I didn't build this one. No, we were going to build a strip plank boat, and I always wanted an aluminium boat, but the price of welding it. I mean, I can weld it, that's no problem, but just the materials and the time, it just didn't make sense to build that as a one-man band. So strip planking was going to be the way to go. And then this boat came up for sale. It's one of only three, and I watched the development of this boat since the original drawings. And long and story short, one of them ended up coming up for tender, and we ended up getting that. So we were pretty damn lucky to get it. So yeah, she's a performance-based hull for cruising, basically to go anywhere in the world. But she's still light enough with fast enough lines to allow her to hydrogenerate well. So it's a kind of a journey on figuring out where electric can go, how real is it, for the cruiser? I mean, how realistic is it to think you can cruise electrically? Where the limits are? And we're going to find those limits and be honest about that and show people. So,
Is there like a team of behind all this, or like I only see your face on YouTube, right? So like who else is involved in this thing?
so at the moment, there's myself obviously hosting Sailhub and well, the Sail Zero project as well. And my wife Jenny, who is playing the part of the videographer, but she's also doing a lot behind the scenes to make this happen as well. Aside from that, we've got a bunch of people who we can kind of rely on to use their boats for testing and the likes, because a lot of things on the Sail Zero project, they're aimed at, innovation and how can we make sailing more efficient and that kind of style. But then on another aspect of it, like the testing, so at the moment we're doing some testing with Harkin and with Marlow and Dyneema and the likes. But that gets done on another few boats. So we have a few of the people who are kind enough to loan us their boats to start the testing on. So that's been sort of happening slowly in the background, and that will start to emerge over the next few months. Probably mid next season we'll start getting more and more videos up. So we don't like to put videos up of the testing that we do without actually having done the hard work behind it. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's a bunch of other sailors out there helping us at present.
Nice. Yeah, I
So
watch the YouTube channel pretty religiously because you have a way of explaining things that makes it make a lot of sense. It's a very point A to point B, like here's the product, here's what it does, and here's what it can do for you. And I see you at boat shows all the time, and there's always like the camera work is excellent, the audio is excellent. It's just a really, really good channel, and I think that everybody should have a look at it. I keep learning things every time I watch. So, you have a lot of videos out there. What's in the future for it? What do you think's next?
mate, that's really nice of you to say, by the way. Thank you. Coming from yourself as well with your Lady K channel as well, like helping people, it's quite cool. I think it's nice when someone who helps people says that. That's nice. But as for what's next for us, basically, so just put out a few from Metz. We're going to boat Dusseldorf, the van behind us. Um, that's an interesting story in itself. But yeah, the van, hopefully we're going to get that mobile for boat Dusseldorf in January. So that's cool. So we'll be over there for 3 or 4 days. We may even take the van in the show and do some podcasting because the van's basically a mobile podcasting suite so that we can give kind of an insight to the actual people behind the industry and what makes them tick and where their products come from and how they evolve. Trying to just give a full backstory because I think I was, coming from the industry as a shipwright, I always think it's really interesting. Like, for example, a good guy Udo from a company called Navicorp. He's a total legend. This guy, he travels everywhere on his bicycle, and he's like totally sustainably minded. Like he's balmy. He's absolutely great. Turns up at Metz in the freezing cold weather in Amsterdam, in November on his bicycle. You're like, what are you doing, Udo? He's like, well, I came here on my bike. And you're like, why do people not know about this? So there's that, and then there's like James Herrera, the guy, the British sailor who didn't quite make it into the Vendée Globe as well. We're going to be doing quite a bit with James, I think, over the next year, I would say, a bit of sail trim from a pro and that kind of stuff, and trying to get some more of his fun and his lifestyle and his character in it, because I think sometimes it can get a bit too clinical. So yeah,
Yeah, I think
basically,
there's
yeah,
some.
utilize all of the great people in the industry and talk about that too.
Yeah, I think there's some really, really good stories in the sailing community, like in the sailing world, that we don't get to hear. You just hear the people's names, but there's never anything behind it.
Yeah,
No kidding.
yeah,
Tell
yeah, yeah,
me,
yeah.
I'm really interested in this van. I know it's not a sailing topic, but I think the two things come together in when we build out these land-based vehicles. We're putting solar panels and lithium batteries, and a lot of the same technology goes back and forth between the boats and then the land-based stuff. So I'm building a
Yeah.
van too. So I thought it was really cool when I saw that you were building a van. I was like,
Oh
he's
no
building
way.
a van? No way, because I'm in the mid, sitting in the right now. Tell me about the van. Like, what's that story?
Yeah, so the van we wanted, obviously we're traveling a lot, and when we're down in Switzerland building the boat, we needed a place to live. And originally, when we started the van, we didn't really have the time to be able to start the boat. We just it was in Switzerland. We had the hull, but we didn't. It was running into winter and one thing and another. We thought we'll leave it, so we're going to build a van to live in. And I thought, well, what are we going to do? We've got 6, 7 months before we can touch the boat. So let's build a van, using shipwrights methods. So yeah, basically everything in the van's been done using boat building techniques, and we've put that through YouTube to try and help people understand how to use more traditional techniques to build wonderful interiors, if you like.
Yeah.
And trying to do that since we sold the yard, we're down to like basic tools, which we used to use a lot of the time anyway. Sometimes they just work really well. So yeah, steam bending, laminate bending as well, curves and all that kind of stuff, compound bending, all that kind of stuff. Going through all that, not necessarily how-tos, but enough information in the visuals to be easily able to pick it up. And then we follow that up in questions over on the likes of Patreon and places like that, where we can kind of spend more time talking to an audience that works for us like that. So
Yeah, if so I'm of the opinion that everybody should go follow you. I love your YouTube channel. I love the, like you're doing the same thing that we are. You're just like here's sailing. Here's all the individual nitty-gritty things that we know, and we just want to give it to you guys so sailing can be easier for you. So is there any other message that I can give people other than go to the YouTube channel and watch a couple videos? Because I think it sells itself. I think they're going to subscribe. Is there anywhere else they should go look for you?
I think, to be quite honest, right now the best place is just on YouTube. Obviously, we have an Instagram as well. That's just, I think it's Sailhub channel, I think. I don't know. But yeah, we've got Instagram and we do YouTube. I think YouTube's the best place to catch up with us. And the only thing I would say for anyone who's a new viewer is, you know, we thrive off what people want to know. So if anyone wants something looking at, well, we're at the shows just like yourself. If you want something looking at, just give us a shout. We'll go and check it out for you and tell you what you think of it. And likewise, if something needs testing or you're not understanding something, and you want someone to help you with that, we'll do that. So just yeah, anything really. For example, at the moment, we're going to go through brake testing ropes and the likes for people to understand the difference between how this rope affects that rope and how putting this knot in that changes its braking strain. And just visually show that, we still have some of the tools from the old boatyard, so we can put these through big old presses. And we have one of our partners, I don't know if you know Cyclops, the rigging company, they do these like load cells to put on your rig so you can measure your capture out tensions. So we're using one of those to measure when ropes snap and the likes. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so anything really, anything that people get stuck out want to know will help them.
That's
It'll be fun.
awesome. That's awesome. Chris from Sailhub, I very much appreciate you taking the time. I hope we get to work together again at some point. If you want to talk to Chris, I'll leave a link in the description for the Sailhub YouTube channel and their website and their Instagram. All around great guy, all around great experience, and you should definitely check out their YouTube channel. It's really good stuff over there. See you guys next time.